Hi, this is Neal with Graveside Paranormal Tours, gravesideparanormal.com, Graveside Paranormal on YouTube. How's everybody liking the tour tonight? Adam, are you here? Talk to us.
All right, hello everyone. This is Spirits by the Graveside. I'm your host with the most. Tonight we're going to be talking about auras, though, not about a ghost. So I welcome you today on May 8th, 2020. We are going to have a special guest by the name of Mahala, Miss Mahala. She will speak about auras tonight. We're also going to get a little bit into a couple other things like about 5G on the phones. We're going to just talk a little bit about that tonight. So I'd like to start off with, as usual, grab your favorite drink. Pop that top. Grab that glass, give it a little swirl, and grab your favorite drink. It does not have to be alcohol. You can get whatever you want. If you like a tea, a soda pop, or anything like that, please have some. Cheers to each and every one of you. God bless. Let's begin the show. Once again, I am Neal with Graveside Paranormal. We are going to start with the news. So supposedly in Miami, the Herald, I found this article of that there was a candidate for Congress, I believe, in Miami, and the thing was, she was a name by the name of Bettina Rodriguez Aguilar is running for a primary to replace the retiring representative candidate. Claimed at age 7 she was abducted by aliens. Now this lady told them she's a candidate. She was abducted by aliens at the age of 7 by blonde aliens. Now, those could be those tall whites we were talking about a couple weeks ago. Very interesting. They said they do not care that she was that she might sound crazy as a candidate, but they want to know her work ethic, and they say that she has great work ethic. I think that's actually great. You know, that some people are actually being thought of and said, hey, maybe this lady's telling the truth about certain things. So I actually think that's a pretty cool thing. Other thing in the news, these hornets, these killer hornets that are coming around. Supposedly they're coming from Japan, and what happened was over 50 people were killed last year. Now, compared to what's going on with the COVID, I'd rather have the killer hornets. We also did put a cute little thing up on Graveside Paranormal on our website there, also on our Facebook page, of the shark birds. Check them out. They're coming in June. So those are a couple little things in the news. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach right into Mahala. There wasn't a whole lot into the news today other than knowing that, hey, everybody's still shut inside their houses. One other thing is, after tonight, though, we are going to be on Anchor FM. We are having our podcast. Tori's going to be putting up the link for that. She's going to make sure that that's put up tonight after this show is done. We are going to be putting something together for you, all our viewers, all the people who've been on our tours. Something very special is going to be coming around in the next couple of weeks. Something that I like always giving back to people. So we are in talks with doing something for all of you. And because I want to see people get out of the house. I'm a big believer in people start getting depressed, be inside houses. That sometimes leads to suicide. We do not want any of that. So I want to put forth the effort to put something together for you, our viewing audience, as well as our people who've been on our past tours. So now I'm going to welcome in Miss Mahala. Hello, Mahala. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's always a pleasure. Me and Miss Mahala, we met a couple years ago. I did a documentary for the Irish legend, what was called the Old Henry Roadhouse back in 1918. We did a documentary there, and she was out there with her church, and all the ladies are there. I know I'm friends with some of the ladies. We were out there, and that's how we met. and my wife just took a liking to Mahala, and Mahala took a liking to my wife. And my wife told me, she goes, Neal, you got to have on Mahala. You got to have her on. So I said, yeah, I'm going to definitely do that. So I welcomed her on tonight. And so one of the first questions, when did you know that, or at what age do you believe that you knew that you became an intuitive, or you were born as an intuitive?
It wasn't that I knew. What I found out is other people didn't know what I knew.
Okay. As in? Like premonitions?
No. I'd know things, and it was kind of like, well, didn't you know didn't you know that was going to happen? No, Mahala, I didn't know that was going to happen. And I said, what do you mean you didn't know that was going to happen? Everybody knew. No, nobody knew.
So
that's when I started suspecting.
Right. And so you, in your mind's eye, you were thinking, you don't know this? It's like, I know this. Aren't you seeing or hearing or understanding what I'm understanding? Am I getting that correctly?
Exactly. And they just kind of look stupid to me. It's like, what's the matter? Are you stupid? But I learned later on that they didn't know what I knew, and I learned that it was just a different kind of concept.
Like almost a different vibration.
Exactly.
Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about because I'm a sensitive. Whereas I've been to places, and I've talked to you about this. All of a sudden, I was just recently at a place that we're going to have up as a documentary soon, The Forge. I walk in there, and all of a sudden I hear, help me, from a girl. I mean, I just walked into the place. And I was like, oh my God, now it begins. I go, I just walked in here. But I kind of understand what you're saying. Some are a little more sensitive. Some are not. Some people are just really well heightened at a lot of these things. So I do understand where you're coming from. I don't know how my level is to your level on certain things, and I think everybody else is a little bit different. I hope you kind of agree with that.
I feel that we all have a gift, and I feel that we all do different things, and that's how we share our gift.
Sure, everybody does have a gift. That is true. Some people do ignore these gifts. But that's their choice. There's a choice. Reason why is because sometimes it's overwhelming, especially when people are young and stuff. It's sometimes very overwhelming for them, and they don't know what's going on. And sometimes, my personal opinion is there's a fine line between maybe hearing something from a different dimension or realm or a ghostly spiritual kind of thing, and maybe psychological problems. I've talked to psych workers and this and that, and they do believe there is a fine line between a psychological diagnosis and probably a possible paranormal, spiritual thing that happens. Diagnosis.
Exactly.
And it's through trial and error with people to really try to figure out what's going on with them before we start popping them with pills and all that kind of stuff. But
exactly, Neal. You're exactly right. And, as a child, when I realized that other people weren't doing what I was doing, I was fortunate enough to have parents into holistic ideas, so I wasn't shut down for it.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's get into the auras. Please explain to our audience what an aura is, please.
An aura is an energy field that it's an electromagnetic energy field, and it's a very subtle body. It lays between the physical body, but it's not as subtle as your chakras. So it's easier to see.
Okay.
And it surrounds every creature. It surrounds everything. It surrounds anything. Rocks, cabinets, everything. Everything carries a vibration, and anything that has a vibration has an electromagnetic field, and it will produce some type of energy that should be visible to the human eye.
Right, and
if you're trained.
Yeah, if you're trained. And just like other vibrations, like when I talk about residual hauntings, it's actually a vibration off of limestone, quartz, water that surrounds the area. These are through vibrations. There's all different kinds of things that happen through vibrations, like the same thing that we talk about interdimensional voices that come through. Sometimes that's done through vibrations and environment. And we talk about that on our tours and stuff like that. And I'm a big believer in that, that it's almost like they call like a window. You have a door that's a solid thing, and it might take you really hard to get in it, but sometimes there's this veil that's like a window that they say are in certain areas that's much easier to get into or hear out of. I know it's a little bit out there, but these are things I've read about, what they talk about. Now,
exactly.
With the COVID,
you seem to be right on track.
Yeah, I try to be, I try to listen to everybody. I always tell everybody I'm a jack of all trades. I'm a master of none. I try to listen to everybody and just try to take it all in. And I just try to give back whatever kind of information I do have. If it's right or wrong, it's what I give. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and you can always change your daily report, if you
that's
realize
right.
something
1 minute
else.
you're on this subject, next minute you're on that. So with like COVID-19 or most people who are getting sick with like a flu or SARS, is there a certain color that's in an aura that lets you know that this person's sick?
The aura tends to get a little murky. It doesn't seem to be quite as vibrant.
Okay.
And that's an indication to most people that are reading auras. The aura just isn't as vibrant as you would normally expect it to be. And that would tell you something is not quite right here.
Okay.
And it can range from minor stress to an illness to injury to deep-seated issues. Aura readings can become valuable as a preventative tool also, because it is believed that everything starts in the aura first, or starts from the divine, and it hits the body. So that's the premise that people work off of, medical intuitives work off of, and it's an active, murky, cloudy type of energy, and if it goes with a certain color, you can maybe address it to a certain chakra, which would indicate a certain area of the body.
Okay, so we basically know that then if it's a murky color and we start seeing it change to a brighter color, then that person is probably getting better. Would I assume that?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, how can...
And generally the murky color comes on slowly. So by the time it's real murky or it's real cloudy, it's already in the physical.
Now, is that from head to toe, or is it a generalized area?
It can be from head to toe, but generally, generally it can be in a generalized area. But it can be from head to toe. It just depends on who the person is looking at it, who's the medical intuitive that's looking at it, and what they're looking for.
Okay. Do people who do alternative medicine, like you were saying, do they sometimes rely on the aura to help diagnose what is wrong with someone, do you think?
They will. They'll work with regular doctors. They'll work with surgeons. And oftentimes the medical intuitive will be involved. It's not commonplace, but it's often. It can happen, and it does happen.
Okay. Now, how can...
Norm Shealy is one that works with medical intuitive.
And where's he out of?
He's out of one of the western states. I want to say Idaho, but I'm Montana maybe. Okay. One of those states out that way.
And he's those alternative doctors, there's a very small amount of them compared to your regular physicians that you and I go see, through our Blue Cross Blue Shield. Correct?
Right. They're not mainstream as of right now, but I think as our consciousness expands, we're going to be able to see into these energies a little easier, and I believe that, it'll be a much more accepted field, and they will learn to work together.
Yeah, and I believe in a lot of these alternatives. Carol, Carol Wolfe, your friend, my friend as well. I'll never forget the time that I invited her out, and she was doing her vibrations. What's the name of the bowl again? I'm sorry.
She does Himalayan vibrational bowls.
Yeah, and that stuff is awesome. I had this really bad headache, and oh no, it was an earache. I had this earache, and I always thank you, Carol. And she put the vibrations. You could feel these vibrations, and before I knew it, this earache was gone. I was like totally blown away. You made me a believer that day. I mean, she made me a believer that day when she did that for me. Very, very well talented, has a very good inner energy, and she's very talented at what she does. Excellent.
Yes, she is. And the vibration, we break up kidney stones with vibration.
Correct. Yes, yes.
And light. Vibration and light is becoming the new way.
Yeah, I did see that. I read that in a medical book, how there's no more doing a certain surgery or however they did, and now they're just doing it through vibrations. It's amazing. It's a slow process, but it's definitely something that's happening.
And we also use light for cataracts.
Yes.
They're using light and vibration. They're using vibration for brain tumors now, some of the teaching hospitals.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that at all. And I just love it when I get this information. Let me ask you a question. Can you see your own aura? Can people see it in a mirror?
Yes, absolutely. And I have exercises that you can practice looking at your own aura. You can use a mirror, or you can look at your arm. There's several different ways you can do it. And I'm doing an aura class in a couple of weeks, and that's one of the things we'll be doing.
And you know what? And at the end, I want everybody to stay with us, because I want her to put out all her information, because now she is on Zoom, and she does classes on Zoom. I believe you have one coming up in the next couple of days. Am I correct on that?
I have one coming up tomorrow. On graveyards and education on epitaphs.
Oh, wow, cool.
And I have a PowerPoint presentation for that. Also, I have a video on my website on it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I saw a lot more people are using that Zoom nowadays. How large?
The only way.
Yeah, there's YouTube, and now the Zoom. I'm liking all of them, and like I said, we're starting today. We're going to be on podcasts on Anchor FM. If you go on Anchor FM, we're going to be on there. It's going to be Spirits by the Graveside, and you can listen to your favorite one. We've done some episodes. As you're driving along, please enjoy things. I do like the one about the aliens. I think that was the best one so far. Now, let me ask you something. How large do you think auras can vibrate at? I mean, how large can an aura get, and can they vibrate?
An aura can get large. Generally, they don't get super large, but they can get large. They can get as large if you're a yogi or you're a Buddhist master. They can get as large as 6 to 10 feet. Generally, our auras will extend out 3 or 4 feet. If you've got things that are bothering you, it won't extend out like that, 1 or 2 feet. Okay. When you first start looking at them, you'll see several inches, and you'll see colors. They have colors around them, and you generally see them around the head or maybe the shoulders when you first start looking, because that's the area you're focusing on.
And they vibrate, correct?
Yes, they do. Everything vibrates. Everything has energy.
Right, right. Now,
and they'll vibrate to the frequency of your body, of your inner body, of your spirit.
Okay. Can because I do the investigations and stuff. Can entities feed off an aura like a parasite?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I just had a class on that Sunday and Monday night. About, they're like vampires.
Right.
They can, they're invisible, and yet they can drain your energy. They can get in that way. You let them in. Your boundaries are poor. That's how they get in. And then the one thing that we do know is we have dominion over them. So we can tell them to leave, but we have to mean it. Right. You can't say leave and then go back and say, oh, well, wait a minute, I just have one more question.
Right. No,
yes. They do get in.
I try to explain it the same way, and I explain it like a door. It's where you slowly, either through depression, alcoholism, drugs, or whatever is negative in your life, you slowly crack open a door, and you don't realize it, but you're letting these things seep inside and come inside the door, and you're slowly progressing, letting that door open more and more each and every day of your life, and then all of a sudden that door is fully open, and you really don't know how to close it. And these things, like Mahala's talking about, they will feed off of these things, and it's horrible, because I've actually seen these in real life, and you see a person who goes from one personality to another personality. It's really bad. So what would you think is the best color to achieve in your aura? Is everybody different in achieving their perfect color?
Everybody's different. Everybody's interests are different. Green indicates a good state of health and overall good energy. Animals and plants have a lot of greens. Yellow indicates intelligence, logic, degree of mathematical ability. The left-brain thinkers. It depends on what's important to you. For me, purple would be great. Blue is good. Green is good for me because I have a lot of heartfelt stuff. The heart chakra is green. Mm-hmm. Red indicates your sexuality, your procreation. It's a creative color. It's the blood of life. It's life, and we procreate to have children to keep our lineage going on.
Okay. Now, did you ever come across somebody who you saw their aura and you just said, there's something wrong with this person, as in like evil, or something, there's something attached to this individual?
Right. You just don't like it. You just don't like it. The first thing that you go back to is that if I have a common energy, it can get in. So one of the most important things you want to do as a reader or going investigating, you want to raise your energy. You want to make sure your energy is high enough that nothing gets in, but yet you can see what's going on. I, too, have seen that, and it's horrifying.
Right, and you know what? You brought up the thing that they feed like vampires. I remember I was at this one psychic show with Michelle Shelley from our group of Graveside Paranormal, and she went past this guy, and she's a sensitive, and she said, "Oh, there's just something emanating off this guy. It's just he's trying to come forward as this really nice guy, but I'm telling you, Neal, there's something wrong with that boy. There ain't something right with that boy." So I said, "All right," and what was weird is another lady said the same thing. She said there's a scent. Now, is there sometimes a scent that happens with people who have bad auras?
Yes, you can have senses. Some people are very, very good with scent. It's called claristic. Mm-hmm. And some people are good about sensing things. Some people are good about smelling things. So, you have to, everybody has a skill that they excel in that's different. Okay. And if she told you that and you found that she's a sound person and you like her, I'd be paying attention to what she says.
Right. Okay, that sounds good.
And the important thing is, you want to surround yourself with people that are sound.
Yep.
That they're just sound, grounded people, because when they tell you something, you want to be able to believe them in case you're not getting what they're getting.
Okay.
You might be getting something else about the same person too, but you just want to surround your people by good, sound, healthy people, mentally healthy.
Now, this is leading up to something. Have you ever come across a person that you believe is possessed? And you know this because of all the signs of like an aura, a scent, or anything like that. Because I believe that these kinds of things are seen. I've personally never seen it like that, but when people might be possessed by a entity.
Possession, true actual possession is very rare. But you can come across some really bad people.
Okay.
So I think we probably are better off talking about the really bad people, because when somebody's really possessed, they go through a lot of things before they have somebody come in and depossess them. You know, they've got to go through all kinds of psychological studies, and it's quite an ordeal. But you and I, I'm sure you have seen some people that just, your skin crawls when you see them and you want to run. You know, my advice is to run if you can.
Just run real fast, real fast.
But, you know, what happens is, like you said, the alcohol and the drugs and the bad thinking and the addictions, no matter what they are, they create little holes in the aura or in the chakra, in the energy field, the energy pattern. And those holes, some people call them bubbles, and bubbles get in. That's how you become unbalanced. And that's why I say, when you go out there with people and you really depend on what they say to add to what you know or what you're finding, you want a good, balanced person, because if they've got holes in their patterns, they're not going to be balanced on this earth. I mean, they're just going to come up with stuff that is like, oh my God, where'd you come up with that?
Right. Now,
so you want to know them well enough to trust them, and that'll give you a good band of people to go and do whatever you want, any environment you want to go into, and still be protected because you have your group.
I agree with you.
What I can't do, we can do together.
That's right. And you know what? Teamwork, it makes the dream work. That's a fact.
That is true.
Now, let's do the flip side of the coin, because I always like to leave the best for the last. Now let's talk about angelic. If somebody is a very good person, and you just know that they are, do you recognize that from a very distinct aura?
Absolutely. First of all, it's big, it's broad, it's huge, and it's bright, and it's usually pink is love. You can see pink, you're going to see blue, you're going to see a little bit of every color. But most important, you're going to see the white closest to the body.
Yeah.
That's the first color, and that's the color you're going to see. And white is purity.
Yes. Very much a bright white light. And, you know, I like talking about that. The reason why I like to talk about it is because sometimes I do talk about, like, demons and this and that. But I have to let my audience be reassured. I do talk about angelic beings. I do love talking about. The only reason why I bring up certain things like I'm talking about Mahala is because I personally believe that we need more people with the light inside them to be able to get rid of these ones who have that darkness, that aura, that inside them. I really want to see that one day, and I know it'll never happen, but I believe in this day and age we need it more now than ever. And that's my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of people share my opinion with me. At least I hope so.
I'm happy to see that you like to talk about the light people. And the reason I like to see that is because when you talk about the demonic spirits and you focus in on that, you know, they grow. What you think about grows. And if you're thinking about the light people, that grows too. When they do investigations here in my building, I do not allow them to abuse the spirit. You know, they were humans once.
Sure.
And they wanted respect when they were here. They received respect there. And if we respect them, what we have found in our building is that the more we receive them and the more we accept them, the more willing they're to come out and the better communications we get. We get excellent communications, but they have to treat them well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just like you say, and you say exactly right, is that one day I'm going to die. Neal Gibbons is going to die. But let's say all of a sudden I become an earthbound spirit. And so I decide that I haven't finished something in life, but I want to get the attention of somebody. So it might be misconstrued that the entity or the ghost spirit is moving things, or maybe you get a little nudge and they think it's something bad. but sometimes don't realize that this is maybe a person that was living before and is just trying to get attention. So before you decide to find an exterminator to get rid of something, you all of a sudden maybe should ask a couple questions, because it might be somebody who's trying to get your attention for a reason.
Exactly.
You know what? One question, Jill, one of my friends, she wanted to know, she's on here right now, is yellow good? Is that a good thing?
Yellow is very good. It signifies intelligence, logic, mathematical abilities, left brain thinking, cheerfulness. Animals, the more intelligent animals radiate yellow.
Oh, okay.
Especially the ones that interact with humans.
All right.
Dogs, parrots, horse, they'll have yellow.
All right. Sounds good. Now, let me ask you this. You have the Aura photography camera. Please pronunciate it for me.
It's the Aura Biometrics. It's a three-dimensional program. And I use the hand sensor because everything in your body can come through the top of your head, your hands, or your feet. Anything, the extremities.
Right. And how long?
And the hand. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The hands will be a good indicator, and it produces an aura field. Now, it's not like the Kirlian photography where you get the big, beautiful pictures. It's different, but it was the Kirlian photography that the doctor or that the scientists realized that there was a bioplasma field back in the early 19th century.
Okay.
And, that's how they even started looking at it, because they realized all things are emitting this bioplasma field. All living things do.
Good. Now, you have this camera, and I know that at a lot of your events that you have the camera, and let people know. I've had her at a couple of my events, and I'm sure I'll have her another one in the future, hopefully. And she'll have it out there. And you guys can get pictures taken with her. Well, not with her, but of yourself from her. It's a very interesting camera. Another thing is, like my wife was telling me, she loves the readings that Mahala gives about auras and stuff. Yeah, and a lot of people who've walked away from the readings that you give do nothing but praise you, and they say so many good things about you. And I really like that, and I like knowing things like that and being able to speak with people like yourself about stuff like this. Can we get into talking about 5G? You and I had a conversation on the phone about a week ago, but before we get into a debate about it or anything like that, we're both on an agreement, and correct me if I'm wrong, that before any of this stuff happens, we really, really need to understand what it's doing to the environment. One of the things is that when they first started turning on, and a lot of people don't know, is at the same time when the COVID virus, I just found out today, when the COVID virus happened for Wuhan, that is when they first turned on the 5G, their 5G matrix there. And odd, I don't know if that really has anything to do with it. And I know that in certain places when they started putting on the 5G, I guess birds fell from the sky, ducks were putting their heads in the water. What is the physical things that could happen to people, bad, negative, from doing this? But also with every negative thing, there's a positive. You agree with, it's a bad thing with the environment, correct, Mahala?
Yeah, the frequency, the sound frequency, because we don't have great sound range, and for all I know, and the scientists also, it could be sending out a sound frequency, and we already know that they use sound for medicine, so sound could maybe do something detrimental. Yeah. I don't know a lot about that. I'm not well educated in that.
Neither am I.
I can say that it puts out sound frequencies.
Yeah, just like you, I'm just a little concerned about it. But the one thing that I found very interesting when Miss Mahala and I talked was actually something she brought up, was that could this 5G be helping with interdimensional transmission? Could things like our Anahata box or spirit boxes, could they actually perform better on a 5G network where we're almost getting full sentences coming through. Now, on our Anahata, we sometimes do get that. But could it help enhance that? I think that's somebody that I have to definitely talk to and experiment with our Anahata with, because I talked to Steve about that. And I know you were talking about, well, what happens if it does? What happens if interdimensionally it helps communication? That would be wonderful, right?
Hello? I'm sorry, Neal.
Hello?
Absolutely. What I think, I know, and I need to phrase it that way, is I think that, we're evolving. Our consciousness is evolving, and we're moving into a new dimension. Everybody knows that almost. And moving into the 5 dimensions with these radio waves and these frequency waves, the important thing about that is that we communicate with spirit on frequency. Spirit does not speak English, it speaks vibration, speaks frequency. Mm-hmm. And the higher frequency that we get, the easier it is for them to communicate with us. It makes that portal, or it makes that veil less. It just makes it easier to come through.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
In that respect, I'm excited about 5G, because I think that the paranormal people, we've got animated or we got antiquated equipment, and I think this will help us even more to get more things. I mean, we can pick up things on our phone now, and 2 years ago that was like taboo, and now we've got it.
Yeah,
and so we're moving up. And in my prophecies, I tell you that by 2040 we're going to be doing telepathy with one another, and if we do that, it's going to be because we've moved to a new frequency, and the spirit impresses our mind.
Okay.
It's just that we're going to be forming a larger world, and that's because we're moving forward. Now, if they find that we are getting sick from 5G, or if 5G is causing all these problems, the scientists will take care of that, I'm sure. Okay. They have to. They just can't kill us all off. So I just think that they've got something new. I think it'll be very advantageous for us. I think it's something we can look forward to. And by the way, they're already working on 6G and 7G.
Oh, dear Lord. Wow. Progression.
So if we're having trouble with 5G, and 5G is causing all these things, we're going to have to fix it up.
Right.
It's just what they're going to have to do.
Like, wouldn't
because they're moving forward. And the more forward motion they move into, the easier it is for us to not only be able to communicate with the spirit, we're going to be able to see them as they are. Right now we see light. Okay. Spirit light. We are the light. And so are they.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing? It's coming on Mother's Day. And let's say 10 years down the road, we're able to go with the idea of calling Mom from heaven, to us. Where that actually could happen. Can you imagine?
We're not going to need a phone to do that. The world is going from Mahala. I believe you when you give me a reading to Mahala. I want to do this myself, so I believe you can teach me.
Yeah.
And that's why I have all the classes I have. People who want to learn this themselves, they will be talking, they'll be talking to Mama themselves, and you'll need the teacher to be able to clear the mind. You'll need the teacher to be able to get them in the place psychologically that they can.
Right.
And so, yes. And by the way, Alexander Graham Bell invented the phone, and I think, I'm going to say Einstein. I don't know who else it was. But,
Tesla.
Edison. Thomas Edison and Alexander Graham Bell. Thomas Edison invented the phone first, and he invented it to make a phone call to heaven. That's what he did.
Yes.
Alexander Graham Bell also had an interest in talking to his mother. Alexander Graham Bell got the patent, but Edison did it first, and his intention was to talk to his mother.
And it was based off of basically frequencies with white noise.
Right.
And that's how a lot of people started noticing spirits talking through white noise. There's an old movie with Michael Keaton, and I remember seeing that many years ago. And there's many different ways, like white noise. We actually, like I was telling you about that place, The Forge, we're getting this lady's voice, and I have a theory about it. How we can hear it is through a white noise, or through vibrations of tuning forks. What I want to do is I want to take tuning forks and record them at certain vibrations, and then throw it back to a certain area where we hear voices. If all of a sudden I can get a reply from the vibrations, from the tuning forks, because I'm throwing vibrations, and every vibration has a different frequency. And if I could do something like that and I actually get a reply because I know that I'm already getting a voice from some, I think that would actually be pretty spectacular.
It'd be excellent. One of the things that I like about you, Neal,
Yes.
is that you try things that other people don't dream of.
Yeah,
You're a visionary. In my field, I call people like you a visionary.
Oh, I do appreciate
that. And you
that.
have these ideas, and you try to make them work. You go to your friends, see what they have to say. You're a networker. You're good at that, Neal. Keep your visions up. They're going to work for you.
I do appreciate that, Mahala. I truly do. And you know what? I do appreciate your time tonight. I really do. But I want to take the time right now to let Mahala speak and tell you about all that she's got going on. And believe me, this lady's got a lot going on. She is world-renowned with her mediumship, her church. I'll let her speak for herself. Mahala, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you, Neal. I do 6 classes a week on Zoom. If you're interested in learning how to do readings, I have a class especially for that where you practice. We can go in breakout rooms. Haven't tried that yet, but we're going to start this week. Tomorrow I have a class on epitaphs, and that includes I'm doing a PowerPoint on that. I always have class outs for you. And we have interactive classes. If you want to know more about it, Neal knows my email. You can get to Neal. He can get you to me for the classes. My associate and I started a 501c3 United Spiritual Council of Nations, and you can reach me on that website. You also can reach me on Facebook. And I appreciate Neal letting me come here. I do private readings. I do special readings, 2 questions for $10, card pulls, whatever you think you would like. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to be able to be on here, talk with Neal, to talk with all of you. And just want to say, everybody have a wonderful Mother's Day. Stay safe, and be smart when you go out.
Thank you very much, Mahala. And a happy Mother's Day to you, and blessings to each and every one in your family. And once again, I do thank you for being with us tonight on Spirits by the Graveside.
Thank you, and blessings to you and your family. Tell your wife I said hello.
You know what? She's right here. Sue, you want to say hi to Mahala? Sue, you want to say hi to Mahala?
Yeah. Hi, Mahala.
Hi, Sue. I think you're one of my biggest fans.
I am.
Thank you, Sue, for all the nice things and all the little things you put in Neal's ears. I appreciate it.
And to all you ladies out there who are listening tonight with me and Miss Mahala and Sue, happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you. And to the mothers who are in heaven, all the blessings upon them. God bless you all. We are going to let Mahala go. Go ahead. I'm sorry, what?
I waited to do.
All right, Mahala, we'll talk to you later. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Neal. Thank you.
All right. All right, that was Mahala. God bless you all. And God bless all your families. And happy Mother's Day, especially to my mom in heaven. Good night.